Hello, little enzymes. Welcome back to Dacia's Digest. The topic of today's video is cheaters. Did y'all ever watch that show back in the day that was called Cheaters? And the private investigators or whatever on the show would follow people, and then they would get the person who requested them and bring them to the place where their partner was cheating, and then they would have this confrontation and fighting. So messy, but so entertaining. So yes, we just have a couple stories about cheating. They both have updates, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me go ahead and get started. So the first story is, I think I'm watching my husband cheat on me in real time. I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, 33 male, for 3 years now, been together for 7. The first year we were together, we lived 3 hours away from each other, and one weekend while I was at his place, I had found out he cheated on me. We worked through it, he moved in with me, and we've been pretty good ever since. I like to think we have a relatively strong marriage, or at least I did. So he not new to this, he true to this. They say last weekend he told me he had to go away this week for work. His best friend back home is having some pretty serious mental health issues and can no longer be allowed to use power tools. However, he was in the middle of a building project that needs to be done, so said friend's dad hired my husband to finish the job with him. So it's like a work trip, but also not a work trip, I guess. He told me he was leaving Tuesday and would be back Friday. Since he left, I haven't spoken to him for more than 5 minutes at a time. Usually when he's away for work, he's calling me 5 times a day, which I thought was weird, but just assumed he was busy hanging out. Tonight, technically last night, so Wednesday, he once again only calls me for 10 minutes and tells me that not only is he now staying until Sunday, even though he sent me pictures of the job half done already, but that he's going to get his car looked at, which is why he can't talk long, because he worked late and still has to take the car in. When I asked him where he was taking the car to get fixed so late, it was almost 10 p.m. at this point, he said he had a buddy next town over an hour away, that was gonna take a look at it tonight, give him a quote, and get parts and get it fixed Thursday. Huge red flags now, because if he was going to a friend's house, he always tells me who, it was never just a buddy, and as his wife, I know he only has 2 friends that still live in that town, and neither of them know crap about cars. You know your man, sis. It's a lot of red flags. It's a lot of red flags popping up. Anytime there's a change in routine or change in behavior, not saying that it's always cheating, but cheating could be one of the reasons. Not speaking to you for more than 5 minutes at a time, basically rushing you off the phone every time y'all are on the phone. Then he's extended his work trip that wasn't even really a work trip, going an hour over to the next town to see a buddy whose name he's not telling you. Y'all been together for 7 years, so you know all his buddies. It's adding up to nefarious activity. She says, we have a tracking app that we use for us and our kids' phones, so I decided to look on that. He got there at midnight. It's now 3 a.m. and he's still there. And it's neither of said friends' houses. I just know. My gut is just screaming that this is exactly what I think it is, and I'm sick to my stomach. My best friend is asleep, and she's all I have, and I just had to get this off my chest before I explode. Yeah, I'm sad. I mean, he cheated before, and I mean, people who cheat, they can, I guess sometimes it just depends on the situation. Not saying that they can't come back from it. He sounds like he can't come back from it. He sounds like he doing it again for sure. She has a couple of updates. Let me just do some comments. Someone said, can you do a Google search of the address? See if it's an apartment or home. Search the address and see if you can find a name for the residence or owner. Do you have access to his apps? Can you look at his messages? Try calling him, see if he picks up. If he doesn't answer, call him again. later today. Ask him who the friend is, where the car is, take screenshots of the location with the time of day. It doesn't look good. That would be me, because low-key, I'd be finding someone to keep my kids with, and I'd be going there. I'm not exactly sure how far away he is, and I'd make a trip too, since we making trips, because I'd have to know for sure. Now, I'm not the one to go crazy, slash tires, do anything like that. I just like to know things, like know for sure. If he is cheating, I just want to have evidence, and then after that, if she decided to work it out, well, in this case, I wouldn't try to work it out, because this is the second time. There's just no excuse. But I'd be out there. She better than me. Also, what does he do for work if he's able to just be gallivanting across town for a week and not have to worry? Maybe he's like a freelancer or a contractor or something. So people are basically, all the comments are telling her to try to figure out the address. One says, cheat on him with the same person. Leave him for the mistress. Prove you're the better cheater. Leave the mistress too. Open a bakery. Opie said, this may be the best advice I've ever been given in my life. That's funny. Someone said, I'm wondering what his excuse will be when you confront him. Someone else, I had a friend with a similar situation. Partner went to help out a friend, staying longer than planned, weird behavior. It was obvious he was cheating, but she just wouldn't accept it without concrete proof. She buried her head in the sand for 2 more years. 2 more years of suspecting he was cheating, having to deal with the worry, and then getting screwed over when he finally left her. She could have saved herself 2 years of heartache if she just listened to her gut. I think she knew she was just scared of being without him. Yeah, sometimes we have to learn those lessons. Okay, so there are, like I said, a couple of updates. Let me go to the first one. She said, he stayed until 6:30 this morning, called me at 7:30 while still on the road, pretending to be just waking up. I don't think he understands how our app works. He said that his car couldn't get fixed because parts are seized, still never mentioned what friend. He pretty much just proved it to me there. I appreciate all your kind words and advice. I'm broken, so forgive me if I don't answer replies. Just know I appreciate it. I was wondering how he was going to wiggle his way out of that part of the lie. Like him saying, oh, they got to order the parts and then they'll fix it, the next day. I was like, first of all, the parts, unless they're in stock, like in a physical store, they're going to take some time for them to get in or get shipped from wherever they're coming from. So how is he gonna, what is the next lie he's gonna say to cover that part? And then her second update, now that I've had most of a day to really think about everything and had a good talk with my best friend about it as well, this is where we're at. When he called me this morning, I was making coffee. I told him I was making coffee and he said, ooh, coffee. I should go get some of that. I just woke up and I haven't gotten a chance yet. Except when he left this morning, he went to the closest coffee shop before he left town. So again, another lie. Just lie after lie. And to answer the recurring question of why are you tracking him if you trust him, the answer is I'm not. Well, I wasn't before now. We got the app last week when our kids started walking to school on their own, so we could see they were getting home safe. In turn, they can see where we are when we're out of the house. I didn't force him to get a tracking app, and it wasn't to catch him doing anything. Although it did kind of work out that way, I guess. I don't think that's terribly abnormal. When one of my exes, we had each other on like Find My Friend, but it depends on the nature of your relationship. If you're doing it because you already don't trust your partner and you want to like check up on everything that they're doing and I don't think you should be tracking each other on Find My. You just need to break up at that point. But we had it mostly for like, for example, like we were living together at the time. So I would be at home and I know what time he gets off of work. Say he gets off at like 5 p.m., but I'm at home and it's 7 p.m. and he's still not home. And then I call him and he doesn't answer. Then I'll be like, oh, dang, like what's going on? I hope he's okay. I look, oh, he's driving. Okay, whatever. You know, it was more like that. I never checked it unless there was like a good reason to check it. I wasn't just like sitting there staring at his Find My all the time. You know, I rarely ever used it actually. And sometimes I forget that we even had it. And I think I had his, did we have each other's phone passwords? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, and then she continues. So the story he gave me was he went over there for his buddy. He finally gave me a name. Let's call him John. And I know of John, but have never met him in person, which is why I think he thinks he's a good patsy to fix something on his car. He said they couldn't get it unstuck with home tools, so he came home. But John's a mechanic, so he's going to talk to his boss today and see if he'll allow them to come in after hours tonight to fix it in the shop. And he was just waiting on confirmation of that and a quote for parts. Now, here's the problem. Although John is a mechanic, John doesn't work nor live in the city he was in last night. And as soon as he said, quote, for parts, I realized that that means he doesn't have the parts yet, which means if his story were true, they would have been taking apart the car with no parts to put it back together, which makes zero sense. And that's what put it all together for me. That, and while I was on the phone with him, his best friend woke up and asked him if he was just getting in from last night. And I literally listened to him stumble to come up with an answer because he knew I could hear him. That one cut deep. But he said, no, I came home last night, surprised you didn't hear me. He lied to his best friend too, which is super suspicious. He just lying to everybody. So basically what she's saying is when she was on the phone with him, I'm struggling to keep up with the timeline, but it sounds like in the morning he called her and he was driving from this house, but he was pretending, I'm assuming, that he was at the best friend's house. So as he's on the phone with her, he's driving home, driving back. He's still out of town, driving back to the best friend's house. He's coming in the door. The best friend is like, oh, did you just get in from last night? So he has to stumble and be like, oh, no, I didn't do it on the phone. Now, I'm not sure what excuse he's given for having been out so early in the day. But either way, he lying. He lying. He not where he's supposed to be. He doing a lot. Opie said, I have, both from reading these comments and talking with friends, decided that I'm going to keep it low and cool. I'm not going to confront him because I don't see a point. He's either going to deny it, flip it, or admit it and beg for forgiveness. And honestly, I don't want to deal with any of that right now. What I need to do is get my ducks in a row to get out, so that's what the plan is going forward. I feel humiliated. I feel stupid AF, but above all else, I'm pissed. Pissed at him, pissed at me, just pissed the F off. And to everyone who asked why I didn't leave the first time, I'm not even gonna be mad about it. It's a valid question. And the answer is that he put in the work to prove it was a mistake. I had never been cheated on before and I was naive. We went through therapy and a lot of work, and he put in all the effort I ever asked for to prove that this is what he really wanted. He really fooled me. So yeah, y'all are right. I should have had more self-respect then. I should have known, and I didn't. And I'll be the first to admit now that I'm an idiot. And I'll be sure to use this as a life lesson going forward. Ooh. So one comment says, document everything and get your ducks in a row quietly. Trust your gut. He's your husband and we're strangers on the internet. I'm sorry he's done this to you and your family. Good on you for not ignoring red flags though. And then 4 days later, she has another update. Hey y'all, a lot of people have been asking for an update, so here we go. So he finally came home Saturday night. I had spent the entire week gathering the information I needed for divorce, but what I really needed for myself was proof. Proof that this was anything other than what I think it was. Proof that I was crazy for ever thinking he would do this to me. Exactly, that's what I would need. I would need just proof. I'm not trying to go crazy or anything else, but for my peace of mind, I would need concrete evidence. She said, I found her. He claims he went over to her house but never actually slept with her. He entertained her but never slept with her. Spent the night but didn't sleep with her. He lied. He lied. He lied. Ain't no way. You drove an hour to another girl's house and nothing happened. You entertained her. Sir, save your breath. Opie says, and I just couldn't believe that. He told me he only entertained her because she made it easy to give her attention. And that's when I walked out. I spent the day with my bestie, drank a lot, and I decided for my own closure I needed to know if he really did sleep with her. One way or another, he took off his ring and walked into that house, so I was done. But for my own peace of mind, I needed to know the truth, and I wasn't going to get it from him. I found her number in his phone the night he got home, so I just called her. Turns out he lied about being married, obviously, and took advantage of a poor girl who had recently got out of a harmful relationship and finally put her trust into someone again. He did sleep with her, even left her his shirt because he wouldn't be back for 2 weeks. Yes, he was planning on going back if I didn't find out. He made this poor girl think he loved her, and I'm disgusted. He hurt so many people with this crap. So here we are. I'm officially a 33-year-old single mom, terrified of life ahead. I haven't eaten in days. My body has been in fight or flight for so long that now I'm currently sitting at the hospital hoping someone can help me reset it so I can finally sleep for once this week and my heart can have a break. I'm a mess, to say the least, but I seriously want to thank everyone for the advice and kind words. This is a literal nightmare that I feel like I can't wake up from, and the sweet messages really help, so thank y'all again. Here's to hoping it gets better. Wow. So he was having a full-out affair. He was planning on going back. That's crazy. Oh, I'll be back in 2 weeks. So that tells me the initial trip already was just to see her. So he must have told her some lies that he works out of town or something like that. The fact that he lied about having a wife and kids, that's crazy. Okay, some comments. Does he know that you know the truth? I'm glad you are taking care of yourself. Sending you the biggest hug and get STI test just to be safe. Opie said he does. He continues to deny it. Tried to pass it off like she was just some crazy girl obsessed with him and lying to me. Someone else, he even lies for crap. Like, if she was that crazy and obsessed, why spend the night there? Who the heck says, oh, hey, crazy stalker, let's have a sleepover? So glad you are kicking his scumbag butt to the curb. Another comment, men like this make me hate the world. So selfish, they shouldn't be allowed to operate in society. I truly hope you heal and move on to a happier, healthier life. And someone else said, it will definitely get better. You're so strong for leaving him. I'm really sorry this happened, but now you can begin your healing journey once the grief subsides. I'll never understand how people can't be happy with their families or destroy so many people's lives because of their selfishness. Opie responded and said, and that's just it. Like, if you're not happy with me, that sucks, but it is what it is. There was no need to destroy multiple people along the way. It was unnecessary damage, and I can't fathom it. I'm honestly just as upset for the other girl as much as I am myself. She had a really rough past relationship, and she opened up to this a-hole just for him to throw her under the bus and wreck her too. It literally makes me sick. Yeah, this whole, he was doing way too much, planning to go out there. He probably lied about the job he had to do too. He's a liar and a cheater. I'm glad she's getting a divorce. Let's go ahead and go to the next story. So this one says, am I the a-hole for tricking my ex into admitting her affair? Pretty much title, I felt like something was off, so I went through her phone and found messages between her and a male friend that seemed suspect. Example, discussing meeting up when she'd never mentioned it to me. flirting, talking in coded language about intimacy, etc. There was nothing overt, but still pretty sketchy. I figured she'd just lie and bury things deeper if I confronted her, and she was actually cheating. So I set up a fake Instagram account and sent her a message saying I knew she was effing her friend. I had the receipts and I was going to contact her partner in 3 days, whether or not she confessed. The next day, she sat me down and admitted to cheating, but wouldn't tell me who it was or how long it had been going on. She was sorry, she loved me, and wanted to make things work. It meant nothing, blah, blah, blah. That's a genius idea. Setting up the fake Instagram account. Wow. Opie says, I told her that I already knew and that it was me who had sent her the message. My ex lost it and I had to leave the apartment and go stay with a friend to get away from her. She was gone along with most of her clothes when I came back the next day. She'd completely trashed the place while I was gone. This all happened a few weeks ago, and it has been pretty tough ever since. It's sucked having to find a new place to live and separating our stuff while dealing with feeling like crap. To make it worse, I'd met the guy several times, shaken his hand, bought him a drink, thought he was harmless, etc. Mostly, I feel like an idiot for having trusted her. I've never cheated on anyone, and I assumed my ex was cut out of the same cloth. My ex is adamant that I'm an a-hole for what I did to her, but I don't really feel like I owe her anything. I don't know, am I the a-hole? How's she gonna try to spin it on him? Ma'am, you were the one cheating. So you mad because he found a crafty way to make you admit it. You should be thankful. You should be thankful that finally someone in the situation is being honest or enticing you to be honest. That's crazy. How are you going to try to spin it on the person who's being cheated on? Somebody responded, for what you did to her? Wow, she's desperately trying to find an offensive position when in reality she's victim blaming. I applaud you for what you did, which was to catch her cheating and call her out. Guess the other dude can continue making his deposits because she's morally bankrupt. You should send him a celebratory bottle of wine as a gift for getting her out of your life. Oh my goodness. Does the other guy know she's a cheater? If not, there's a future r/petty revenge story here, not the a-hole. OP responded, yeah, he knew about me. We'd met on several occasions and he'd been introduced to me as a friend. He's just as gross and morally bankrupt as her. They deserve each other. I don't really feel like I need or want any revenge. I just want her out of my life. Yeah. Another person, not the a-hole. The only a-hole here is her for cheating on you. She's just mad you outsmarted her, right? Oh, this situation is funny. You crashing out because somebody caught you cheating and somehow trying to blame it on the person you cheated on. That's crazy. I love filming in the morning because I get to see the sun come up. It just looks so nice outside, like the colors. Anyways, okay, let me continue. I have to hurry up because in a second it's gonna get really, really bright in here. But there is an update 1 day later. OP says, so I think my original post must have been shared on Facebook or something because my phone has been blowing up. It's mostly mutual friends and acquaintances asking if I posted it. I told a few people about how I'd caught her cheating, and I guess it wasn't hard to put 2 and 2 together. My ex also tried to call me about 100 times. I know she knows my throwaway username because she sent me a screenshot of the post along with a long, harmful message threatening all sorts of things. I blocked her everywhere after that. I want to clear a few things up. Going through her phone was wrong. I get that. To be honest, it's the first time I've ever done anything like that in a relationship, and it was only because there were so many things that gave me bad vibes. For example, late nights out with vague explanations, being caught in various lies, sleeping with her phone under her pillow, or leaving it face down on the charger, etc. I left the apartment because my ex has a history of violent histrionics when she doesn't get her way. I didn't want to put myself in a compromising situation where she could either hurt me or make up stories about me hurting her. I had a bug out bag packed and ready to go before I hit send on the message, just in case. She didn't do any real damage to the apartment, just threw my stuff around while having a tantrum. It took a few hours to clear up and nothing valuable was damaged, so I figured it was easier to just let it slide. I had to stay in contact with her while we divvied up our joint finances, furniture, and various other stuff accumulated over a 4-year relationship. As of yesterday, that's all done, which is why I waited several weeks to make the initial post. She is now blocked everywhere. Yes, I took the cat with me. We've both been crashing at my friend's place while I look for a new apartment. He's doing great. He was always my pet anyway. My ex tolerated him at best. I told my ex that I was the one who sent the message because I wanted her to know. I suppose I could have played that hand differently, but I wanted the satisfaction of seeing the look on her face when she found out. It didn't feel that great in hindsight. I'd probably go back and do that differently if I could. I wasn't planning on airing her dirty laundry on social media. Does Reddit count? Because I wanted to be above that sort of juvenile BS, but it seems like the horse has bolted on that now, and people know. I don't think there will be much else to update on after this. I don't intend to ever speak to her again, and I doubt her ugly little man has the backbone to come after me. Jay, I know you're reading this. I hope you also read all the comments in the first post. They were savage. You're disgusting. And I'm so glad I was able to see your true colors before I wasted any more of my life on you. Good luck with the pathetic goblin you chose over me. I don't know if I should feel more sorry for him or for you. In any case, people of your quality deserve to be together. Oh, and A, she's all yours now, buddy. Good luck with that. Dang. That's funny. Oh, there goes the sun. It's coming up. Oh man. Okay. That was funny. Just the way that they said that. Okay, let me just see if there's anything else. Okay, this is Editing Daisha here really quick because I'm trying to make sure I get this video edited and I didn't have time to like set up the camera and stuff. But as I was editing just now, I realized that I skipped. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong camera. I realized that I skipped a whole nother update. So this is actually update 2. I was like, why am I going from update 1 to update 3 on this story? So let me just read this really quick. It says update 2, am I the a-hole for tricking my ex into admitting to her affair? Holy crap, where to begin? Some things have happened since my last update. Yesterday, while I was out, my ex-girlfriend, Jay, showed up at my buddy's place with a box of my stuff and asked to see me. He said she looked like crap. He also said she had a fat lip. I have to admit that I almost caved and called her to see if she was okay. I'm glad I didn't. My ex's sister, H, texted and asked if we could talk. We always got along and I have no issues with Jay's family, so I called her after I got home. We talked for about an hour. She wanted to apologize for her sister's behavior, but she also told me about some of the things that have been happening over the last few weeks. Jay has been staying with her sister since we split, and A, the guy she was messing with, has been coming around regularly. They got into a huge fight yesterday, and the ex lost her crap at the affair partner. Her sister had to pull her off of him, and the affair partner's elbow connected with my ex's face while he was trying to get away from her. Turns out he's not single, and his girlfriend found out about my ex. It also turns out that my ex wasn't his only side piece. Oh, man. After my ex's sister kicked him out, my ex-girlfriend spilled her guts. She's been lying to her family about everything. She told them that I cheated and she broke up with me. My ex-girlfriend's sister said that my ex had confided in a couple of her friends about the way she got caught. One of them saw the original "Am I the A-hole" post and sent it to her, since the details lined up almost exactly. Her friend must have shared the post with other people too, and from there it kind of snowballed. Ex-girlfriend's sister also said that she's given my ex a week to find somewhere else to stay. So that's it, I guess. So now we can go to update 3 in this story. I just skipped this. Update 3. I love when there's like a little extra. It's a little bit short, but let me just read it real quick. Update 3. Am I the a-hole for tricking my ex into admitting her affair? I didn't think I'd be posting here again, but people have been asking for an update, and some things have happened since my last post. 2 major things, actually. The former girlfriend of my ex's affair partner reached out. "Hey Meredith, she tracked me down on Facebook and asked if we could meet. I was hesitant at first, but curiosity got the better of me. We met up for a drink at a local bar, and what was supposed to be a quick chat turned into a 3-hour conversation. She filled me in on Andrews." He said the boy's name. Yeah, F you, no more fake names. "History," oh, wait a minute, "of being a rapacious, cheating, degenerate piece of crap." Is that how you say that word? Rapacious? I hope it doesn't mean what I think it means.
Rapacious.
Rapacious. Aggressively greedy or grasping. So basically like handsy. Opie says, "It sounds like the guy is a intimacy addict with no sense of self-control. Meredith found out about him effing my ex through mutual friends who knew about the original Reddit post. It was the second time she'd caught him cheating and she'd had enough, so she threw him out." Dang, so he was in a relationship too. "I felt bad for her. She seemed sweet, but it was obvious that this situation had screwed her up. But that's not the main reason I'm posting. The second thing that happened is complicated, and I'm not sure how to feel about it. I've been spending time with my ex's sister." Come on, OP. Come on, OP. "We've been talking and hanging out semi-regularly. Haley has been amazing through all of this. We were always friendly when I was dating Joe, but I kept her at arm's length. Seeing how she's handled this mess has really shown me what an incredible person she is. At first, it was just venting and talking crap, but lately our conversations have been going late into the night. We've been talking about everything, our hopes, fears, childhood memories. It's like I'm seeing her in a whole new light. Last night, things took an unexpected turn. Lord, we were on the phone at 2 a.m., both a little tipsy, and Haley confessed that she's been having feelings for me, and the truth is, I think I feel the same way. We haven't done anything physical yet, but there's definitely a connection there. I'm torn between feeling excited about this potential relationship and feeling guilty as heck. Part of me thinks this could be something real, but another part wonders if we're just trauma bonding or if it's some kind of twisted revenge against my ex-girlfriend. I have no idea how to handle this. I've really caught feelings for Haley, and I don't want this to be about revenge or some crappy rebound. Would I be the a-hole if I hooked up with my ex-girlfriend's sister? Don't do it. Don't do it, OP. Take some time, OP. It's fresh. When did this happen? This is very fresh, okay? Like you said, you don't want this to be a rebound situation. Also, like, that's just complicated, bruh. Y'all are not gonna have an easy relationship at all. There's so many other people in the world. Just take a step back. Stop texting her. Stop venting to her. Just stop. It's very early right now. Y'all aren't in any, you can easily disentangle yourselves, but I would not. Personally, I just don't think they are thinking clearly right now, so I just wouldn't do it. All right, well, seems like the end of our main read, so I'm gonna do the palate cleanser. This one has to do actually with, I think, Hurricane Helene. As you've probably been seeing on the news, we've been having a lot of hurricanes recently. Hurricane Milton just passed. I have, friends and family who are in Florida. Luckily, they are safe, but there's so many people whose homes got destroyed, passed away, are displaced. It's heartbreaking, sad. So like my thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who was affected by Hurricane Milton. It's crazy. We're literally like, we have no control over this. We're literally just on a rock floating in space. Like, we don't have any control over this. It's crazy. But like 2 weeks or so before Milton, we had Hurricane Helene that touched down. And I think that one affected a little bit more of some of the other southern states. So Atlanta got like a lot of flooding and stuff. And the palate cleanser is this video. The title says, Fox Weatherman Saves Woman Screaming in Car. So he's out there doing his little weather report or whatever, and off in the distance, there's a lady screaming in a car, like, I guess screaming for help or whatever. And at first, he's like, yeah, I guess they called someone. So he's like, it's okay, ma'am, we called someone, like, they're on their way. But then I guess he really notices how dire the situation is, and so he goes himself to go help her. So here it is.
But we got you. We got you. 911, they're coming. You're good. You're good. Oh, man, it's a situation. We will get back to you in a little bit. I'm going to go see if I can help this lady out a little bit more, you guys. I'll be back.
Yeah. All right, Bob Bob Van Dalen. We were with Bob just a little while ago, and he said, hold on, I'm going to go help that lady in that car. Dang,
the clip ends. I think there's a longer clip on YouTube.
We were with Bob just a little while ago, and he said, hold on, I'm going to go help that lady in that car. And he joins us right now from one of the areas around Atlanta. Bob, tell us, when we saw you last, there was a lady in that white car behind you, and we could hear her screaming her head off during your live shot, and eventually you said, I've called 911, but the water was rising. And you had to do something, so pick up the story.
Steve, I know that we're swamped here with all the 911 calls because there's so many high water rescues that we've already documented so far. And called 911 in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you could hear her screaming, right? You could hear it during my live shot, real loud. And that's her car right there. Windshield wipers are still on. So I just said, you know what? I realize I'm with you guys. I'm on the air, but I can't let it go. So I just... I dropped everything, and I took my wallet out of my pants, and I went in there, waded in, about chest deep. Yeah.
That's the type of guy Bob Van Dalen is. I've known Bob for probably 15 years. So don't be humble, my friend. I was not surprised at all when you took off your gear and on live television said, I've got to go do something.
Janice, you know how it is. And I was concerned at one that maybe there was a nice swift current, but the current really wasn't that bad. But the water temperature I was afraid with too. The water temperature is probably about 80. So all those things were working pretty nicely. Now, that being said, the water came up to about my chest, and she was in there, and she was still strapped into her car, and the water was actually rising and getting up into the car itself. So she was about, almost neck deep submerged in her own car.
If you hadn't done that,
she was on the phone with her husband.
What would have happened had you not gone in there? She would have drowned.
Well, it looks like it hasn't gotten that much. I don't know. I told her, okay, undo your seatbelt. And she undid her seatbelt, and I said, let me have your phone, let me have your bags, and then put on my back, and then we walked in. So she's short. She's probably about this tall. So I put her on my back and just brought her in. She's fine. She was in shock. She was cold, shivering, so I gave her one of my shirts, and she was in our car just warming up. About 10 minutes later, the fire department came, saw that we were okay, and they went on to the next rescue, wherever they're going.
Meteorologist
just
and
picked
first
her up
responder.
about 5 minutes ago.
That's right.
You're amazing.
She said meteorologist and first responder. That's crazy. Shout out to Bob, man. I feel like in the first clip, you can see he's really conflicted because, at first he doesn't know what to do because he's trying to report the weather and do his job. At the same time, he's like, look, I need to go help this lady. She's literally screaming in her car. I would be so grateful to him if he had saved me out of my car, because like there's no telling what could have happened. Yeah, the car is still there now, and it seems to be that she probably could have lived through that incident. But then what if it wasn't? What if the car got swept away and she drowned? Like, shout out to him for doing that. I thought that was a great little story. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.